This is a Fireworks Brigade special report. Today's special guests, Steve Hauser, and now, here are your hosts, Johnny Starr and Ron the Banker.
All right, John. Hopefully these ringtones work and we get Steve Hauser on the line.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. How are you gentlemen today?
Mr. President, how are you doing? Good to hear your voice, buddy.
Oh, likewise. Hear yours.
Yeah, John's a little hoarse today. He was out drinking late last night, so you'll have to. That's why he was a little late for this podcast as well.
Yeah, I was entertaining clients, but then I forgot they weren't clients.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, sometimes you got to let loose a little bit,
That's right.
Yes.
What and so Steve, the last time John and I did a podcast a while ago, and we had talked about the 87 one. You had sent us a nice correspondence email. We read that and we talked about it, and we felt it was probably a good idea to get you on the line, and maybe you can give us your version of what's going on with this 87 one, and what our listeners can do to help out.
Well, right now the comments period has passed. That was October 15th. And, NFA made their comments. And what really surprised us was when the APA came out with a newsletter advisory, basically raking the NFA over the coals. They took the approach that we were, they were trying to tell folks that we were trying to, in essence, kill 87-1, which is not true at all. So I think it's, important for people to, read our response to that. Go out and look at the comments that were made. You can go out to the DOT PHMSA site where they took those comments in and see what the concerns were, because the NFA's concerns weren't with virtually any part of 87-1 as it existed, but it was with the new language that was being included in the 87-1A revision, which was language that mirrored what was in the CPSC NPR,
Right.
which of course was defeated. The purpose of this PHMSA consideration for updating 87-1 is a part, if you read the comments, it has to do with multiple industries, not just the fireworks industry. 87-1A was a part of it. It's a comment that they are undertaking on an NPR to reduce regulation. So our point on the NFA side is, if you want to reduce regulation, don't put in new words saying that they're required by CPSC when they aren't, because the NPR was defeated. Don't make the regulation more obtuse. That's where we were coming from. And we merely made the comments that those things that were in there should be stricken, so that you can match more closely the CPSC rules and you don't have interagency conflict.
And how did they respond?
Well, we made our comments. They did not come back with anything positive.
Okay.
The APA's response was basically, we're so disappointed in the NFA. It's out there. They actually came back and they said they were extremely disappointed. I'm reading off their form, challenging certain existing provisions of the current 87-1 standard. And that's not true. We weren't challenging existing provisions. We were challenging the proposed changes. I don't, it's a tiresome thing. In our response to this, I said, that the NFA basically, we grow tired of the negativity and this mudslinging and this conjecture. The NFA is here as a concerned voice and an advocate for members of the U.S. fireworks industry as a whole. All members, all supported. We want to hear and share opinions in an open format with an open mind. And we know that we don't know everything, but neither does anybody else. And we just think that all the industry should work together, and that there shouldn't be this compartmentalized, we have our agenda that we want to pursue no matter what, that then the NFA always has to speak up against.
Right. It's not only is it tiresome, it's costly too. Just to fight, it's a constant battle, a constant fight, and trying to keep everybody in line. And I know, Steve, you're an old banker, and give you a banker term. It's just lender fatigue, banker fatigue. Yeah, after a while, you just didn't want to deal with a customer anymore. And you're just like, we need to get, we need to move on. And it just seems like there's no forward. It's always one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah, it's the battle that, it seems, sad that we're almost in this phase right now, where, for so long we didn't have these regulatory issues, these Washington things to have to deal with. And now that has become a very prevalent part of what the NFA is doing. And, the hard part about that is that's very expensive.
Well, that seems right up the APA's agenda, is basically to wear you out of cash. That seems like what they've done in the industry, and that just seems, once again, APA is bullying people and bullying the government with their money. So that's why I really speak out about membership for them, because we should all be united with with saving fireworks and making fireworks safer and keeping fireworks around the rest of our lives. And it seems that they do not share the same agenda anymore, but it seems like they are just trying to wear us out of money. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, it's kind of almost a war of attrition.
Yeah.
Just try to bleed you dry. And, that's why, I sent out to the NFA and I wrote about it in the NFA newsletter, which everybody should have received by now. The need for folks to put a line item in their budget to support the NFA with a monthly donation. Different size companies can do different amounts, but with over 1,000 members, a little bit adds up.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have to have everybody contribute to that. It can't just be a 5 or 6 company type deal.
Yeah.
It's the, I tell people I'd rather have 1 billion pennies than $1 million.
Yep.
Do the math, you'll see why.
Yeah. Yep.
But
that just made my head hurt.
That's hard to hit you with that the morning
after.
Yeah.
Oh,
you mentioned money, John's eyes light up. Yeah, well. So, and that the 87-1, it's like the standard in which fireworks classifications are assigned based on the weight and type, and that's been around like since the 80s, right? And the APA, it's something the APA was asked to do, and they did it, and so they've changed it based on what they thought was going to be made change, and then that's what's caused all this ruckus.
Yeah, what 87-1 is it's a great tool for the industry to be able to get EX numbers.
Right.
It's that exception to the rule of the PHMSA on how you have to apply for an EX number. You can do the standard process, which is through a DOT explosive lab, or you can have as an exception, you can go do it the 87-1A.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just wanting to update 87-1 to, reflect a little more current terminology, I'd say, and clarify some things that over the years have come to fruition where somebody says, we really need to come up with an answer for that. And that's great because it's a great tool for the industry. But when you're doing a revamp of something like this, seize the opportunity to make all the correct adjustments. That's the NFA's position.
Yeah, instead of just the ones that support them and what they want passed.
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind is it's a transportation safety rule. The things that the NFA was objecting to, none of those things have anything to do with safety and transportation.
Yeah.
And again, it's the DOT rule, and they are in charge of transportation safety. So let's not try to misappropriate a transportation safety rule becoming a consumer safety rule, which is the responsibility of the CPSC.
Yeah, it's like if the APA doesn't get one agency on board, they're trying to get another one on board. And but once again, it's just more fake news from the APA, and that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs.
Well, the good news is I'm looking at their website, and their winter conference is at the Park MGM Hotel in Las Vegas in February. We can all go if you want. We can sit out in the lobby and smoke cigarettes and look really mean or something, try and keep people out. I don't know.
Yes.
Well, hopefully their membership keeps depleting. That's what I'm hoping. And I made my point to many of the Chinese when I was in China this last month, schooling them a little bit more on who they should support and who they shouldn't. And I said it's just not based on my opinion. I says you do the research yourself, and you'll see that if you want to do business with me, then you certainly wouldn't want to represent the APA because they're trying to, get rid of what we call fireworks, and they're trying to do a lot of different regulations that hurt the industry as far as the businesses that we are in. So I schooled them as much as I could, and I think they're all on the same page. I hope that I just hope their membership just keeps failing, and they're going to cash themselves out, and that's what I'm hoping.
Well, there's a different war of attrition right there.
Yep.
Hey, you mentioned their winter conference in February. That reminds me, the NFA is having their spring expo in Columbus, Georgia, March 2nd through 5th.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have the second one. I didn't go to last year's. It fell at a bad time, but this March 2nd, I think I will be at that one. Yeah.
Can you make it to Georgia on March 2nd? If you can make it, I'll go.
Yeah, I think I'll be back by March 2nd. Yeah.
We'd like to record a podcast or two from the. It's at what hotel is it at, Steve?
It's at the Columbus Marriott. That's the host hotel, and then we actually have the trade show and demos at the Columbus Civic Center, which is about 4 blocks from the Columbus Marriott.
Oh wow, that's
nice.
Perfect. Yeah,
and
and
you talked about supporting the NFA. This would be a way to do it. I mean, and you get to hang out with some pyros and get some good tips, and just hanging out with the rest of them, and it's always good to get some ideas from other people with the same challenges that you have. So, I mean, the NFA is always a good convention. So all that stuff is on your website, right?
Yeah, it is. And there was an email that went out, I think it was on the 5th of November. Should have gone out to all the membership.
Okay.
And talks about it. Scott Smith, the new secretary of the NFA, obviously from Cobra. Mm-hmm. He's wonderfully technically smart. And he actually has built the registration and everything into an online automated process to register for the expo and everything.
Oh, there you go.
So all those links were embedded into the email that went out. So that's real handy. I pulled it up, typed a few things, boom. I had my company registered right off the bat.
There you go.
So it was great.
You got to get Dino on that, John.
Yeah.
The nice thing about this convention, too, and I like to tell people, is this is a buyer's convention. Because in the fall, guys like me, importers, we're showing up in Branson. We've come through our season. So most of the time our stocks are depleted. This one's in March. This is when we're full up. We're ready to start stuff for the 4th of July. So what's great is when you see those items demoed, I've got them.
You got them, exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, I saw it, I liked it, let's buy it. And that's what's nice about this one.
Yeah.
Plus being, down in the South, it's a nice place to kind of go to coming out of the winter for a lot of folks. But it also puts us in a new region where we get to meet new people.
Yeah.
Yeah, never been to Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia's a nice state. Yeah, I like Georgia. I can make that one, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, Steve, you always have a quote for us, one or two. You got one for us today?
I got one, and this goes back to the being diligent and proactive in Washington. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail.
Nice.
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin did that one?
That is Ben Franklin.
Wow.
That sounds like something Johnny Starr would say.
I like that one. I've been since I've been hearing Steve's quotes. I've been making up my own quotes. They're just my own little my own little mind.
There you go.
And some are actually I surprised myself. I think they sound pretty good. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You know what? I actually pulled a couple.